I think playing with them is just much more flexible in this way. As Candy said, it's like everyone is like an individual in this orchestra.
There's a huge expectation on everybody, which I think also gives everybody a lot of responsibility.
How is it to wait the whole?
It's okay. It's just everything feels a bit different. Also now to play Tchaikovsky.
Went nice, yeah?
Yeah, super. No, you played super. Wonderful. Beautiful.
See you later.
Yeah.
On the first day of our tour, I got a call that our driver who drives the instruments had an accident. Evening, everybody, and welcome to Wiesbaden. I'm glad we all made it, almost. Just a little update, so Sjoerd is fine. He can leave the hospital tonight. Well, luckily he was fine. Then the second concern is we had a concert at the same evening, and it was at the afternoon when we got the call. We organized 2 basses from an orchestra in Frankfurt, and they brought the basses to Wiesbaden, to the venue, in time. There's a lot of unexpected things happening, but I mean, a car accident is really something serious. In the end, yeah, it was fine. We played a really great concert.
Have fun. Yeah, teeth.
Enjoy. Cheese.
It's quite nice.
Alright. Also we go, right?
Yeah, oh nice. Is that weird?
A bit.
Sorry. Like now, so
Sure, no problem.
because they're almost ready, so that is nice. We just go and.
Sure.
My name is Emma Royakkers. I'm a violinist and I'm a regular substitute at Amsterdam Sinfonietta. So we've just played the first concert in Wiesbaden. Felt like a real start of the tour. We were in a completely different place than the Netherlands. And then especially when we went on to Innsbruck, we were surrounded by beautiful mountains. It felt more like being outside and enjoying the surroundings and being inspired by it as well. It was really nice to get to know everyone a little bit better. Harry I didn't know yet, and he was leading our group, so that was really nice to get a bit closer, with people that you actually play together with very closely. Obviously, we've already been doing some concerts in the Netherlands, so Wiesbaden wasn't the very first concert. And I think at that point of playing concerts, we were looking for a different and kind of fresh way to prepare this next concert. It's sometimes better to just talk the piece through.
No, I love the idea.
You love the idea? Well, let's see if it works. Let's see if it brings about something. I can start a bit if you want. I mean, first of all, I think it's getting great and it's super. I mean, they're wonderful things, but let's keep going further. I really loved, like 3-4 days ago, we were talking about, this idea that you don't fully play some places in order to let through other voices. And we got in a little bit pattern of that in that concert, and I felt that was gorgeous because then we got the transparency. I don't know what you all felt about that, but I felt like we lost that a bit, maybe the last concert. And I also got a comment from somebody saying, yeah, but it's nice to know when you can really play. So I don't want to take that away from anybody, but there's just such fun when we actually allow each other to get through in, you know, like long notes, lightning, not long notes. Mm-hmm. That's a general thing I feel.
It's true that sometimes it's really hard to know when to play out or to like really go for things, because then still you feel not everyone is doing it. But I thought we said that we would play the bum bum, the second one. Actually, it's more for us, like a bit more instead of bum bum.
No, I really like that idea. I think it's great.
No, we
Let's like dare it then. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. That goes for all of you, right?
Yeah.
Everybody brings something different. I mean, you have fantastic players, but they somehow always bring something new and something different in their personality, in their being, in their aura, in their expectation of what something should be. And I think it's only wonderful to be open, just taking that energy on and including it in my own probably way of doing things. And you can't change people, but you can try to bring the best out in people, and hopefully they then will also bring the best out in you. So then it's a mutual experience. This da-ba dum ba-bi dum ba, whenever that comes, this note gets very short and da-dee-da-da-da instead of bum-ba-dum-bum. It could be a bum instead of a ba.
When we release the long notes, sometimes the sound becomes, on a double bass, it becomes a little bit passive. So there needs to be like a bit more work done, even when it's quieter, to still keep the direction of the sound kind of forward.
One of the main things about our orchestra is that we are self-directed, so Candy is artistic director and we don't have a conductor, which is a very enjoyable thing for all of us because we feel very involved. We're a small group, we all have a responsibility, you know, everyone is able to speak and we all do, and the main characteristic of this group is that we endeavour to be very flexible, spontaneous. That's something which I think we really focus on.
Berlin, it's just such a beautiful hall and lovely size for us. It just feels kind of ideal and easy to hear and just this wonderful sound.
Berlin was personally quite special. It was an incredible hall. Like, I haven't played there before, I've only listened to a concert once. The impression that a hall makes on you is very important. You feel the audience goes to a lot of concerts, so they kind of know what they're hearing.
I think, as Candy said, is like everyone is like an individual in this orchestra. I think playing with them is just much more flexible in this way, you know. So we are not like following each other, but more like, you know, everybody has a very interesting ideas all the time, you know. As you can see from the first rehearsal, we're already discussing between the members, you know, and this is a very rare case. I think in other ensemble you don't really have such chance to do these things. And with the tour, you know, it just allows this to kind of keep growing, you know, in a sense. And yeah, I think this is, you know, one of probably the best way to make music in a way. Some results always come with challenges, you know, and putting ourselves a bit in the not really comfortable zone, I would say. From my past experience, it's always been a little bit like that. Is that the great concert always comes up with a little bit of pushing yourself, you know.
I don't go sightseeing. I basically stay in the hotel and get a bit of practice done. When you're away for 2 or 3 weeks and you're playing the same program every night, for me it's very important that I just find that time, especially to make sure that I'm also prepared for what I've got coming up as well. So I do, whenever I can, take the time to get some practice done. And you mentioned there's a couple of the solos that I have in this program. I practice them just once a day as well, just to make sure that they're, well, as polished as I hope they were at the beginning of the tour. You know, I don't like to relax on these things too much. And I was actually thinking about my relationship to practice during the tour, because I get nervous if I don't have enough time to practice for myself, because I like to stay in shape, and I realised that I hate not practicing more than I love practicing. So it's a complete necessity for me to do it for myself.
Alright, Tim, yeah, go, Timmy. You can do it, yeah. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3. Yeah.
We can kind of like shuffle it.
Yeah.
Like that,
Yeah,
you
get
do
it
one
all
move.
like- yeah. Yeah.
No. Do you think I'm so clumsy, Harry?
No. I think you're brilliant.
They're just not up for it. I don't know what's going on.
What is it?
Very wide.
Oh, thanks, man.
Do you want it down?
Feedback naar moet kijken.
Joost.
Oké, ik heb het wel al.
I mean, it's an amazing hall. I mean, we played there now a few times in the Elbphilharmonie. It's very impressive. You feel quite naked on the stage. It doesn't feel safe. It's so alive. You're somehow aware of that when you're making sound, and that somehow can be a little bit... But of course, that's also amazing, probably, that then it probably makes the mesh of sound, and it probably carries to people very directly, I imagine. I've never sat in the hall to listen to a concert, unfortunately. No, I don't live in Hamburg, sorry. It's also very hard. A hall changes so dramatically with public. So you can't always judge it completely, unless you know the hall very well and you've played there a lot. Then you tend to know what you need to do for a hall. But and I think that one automatically tends to change things. In the evening itself, on a concert, you play clearer if you feel it's necessary, or yeah, you automatically. I mean, at some moment you learn that.
every time. I kind of love everything about it. The hall itself is wonderful. The glamour of the whole building, it's a special place. The views out of the windows, it's just a special place to play, and a sold out audience again, which I mean is always the nicest thing to walk out to. Yeah, it was a super nice audience, and I really enjoyed the concert as well. Yeah, it was a really fun one.
Quite in a stressful situation because we were on the way to the concert and completely stuck in traffic and nothing moving. And that day we had a quite short podium rehearsal planned. Normally we have an hour and a half rehearsal. That day it was only half an hour because there was in the afternoon another orchestra playing in Cologne. What we do with the dinner.
But if you do the takeaway after rehearsal, we have time.
Well, only 30 minutes, still short. Let's wait a little bit and then decide what we do.
Wann habt ihr Auftritt?
8
Uhr?
8 Uhr. Ja, wir haben eine Probe. 6. 4 zu 7. Ja.
10 Kilometer, wir sind da, aber wir kommen hier nicht weiter.
At the moment we had to reschedule a rehearsal, dinner, and luckily enough it was moving again. Just on time, had a wonderful concert. So in the end, it all worked out quite well, and that's a nice thing I think of our orchestra and the size of our orchestra. Everybody is completely committed to help out in different situations. So in the end, we always manage.
Guys, really check that you feel comfortable, because yesterday was not nice. Is this the maximum, you guys? Can you go a little bit more out still? You're not going to fall off anyway, so... No. Great. Can you accompany us? I feel like I'm accompanying you, not all of you, but some of you.
Yeah, we should really listen to melody more.
Yeah, it would be super, because I feel a little bit like we're not free then, and I'm just trying to stay with you, which is the point of the exercise. They sound sometimes a bit silly, you know. Let's take care of all of those little nuts, so they don't become too machine gun-y.
I think we're just lucky to play in so many beautiful halls and different halls. Figuring out, you know, what we need to do in each hall is part of the game. That's definitely keeps you on your toes each time, trying to figure that out. How well can we hear each other? How do we need to respond in a different way, perhaps? This whole idea of letting go, it's a real central idea, playing Tai Chi and playing music, really. So if I'm facing an opponent, I need to really soften and let go of all tension, because that's the only way I can connect to my opponent and feel what they're going to do and feel their intention. It's really the same thing in the orchestra. Of course, we are not opponents, we are colleagues. I mean, there's just a lot of letting go to do. If you imagine that you've got 23 individuals, all totally different backgrounds, different teachers, different ideas, I mean, how does it happen that we unify and that we can play together? It's a kind of a miracle that that can happen at all. You know, we all get very attached to musical ideas. You know, I feel it like this, it has to be like this. The more you are holding on to your own idea, the more you are resisting that unification. You're kind of separating yourself. You know, we can fight it out a bit in rehearsals and have different ideas and, yeah, knock around a little bit. But there's always going to come that moment just when you've got to get on the stage and you have to be one. You have to be unified on stage. That's the moment where you just have to let everything go.
Subway.
There's no bus to the hotel?
No, it's a
I
subway.
mean, I think we should find...
No way.
Yes.
They went that way, so I think
Okay,
we
let's
should
go.
just... Well, that was nice that we found each other.
Yes.
It was such a beautiful city. I think the whole orchestra was kind of amazed.
Well, it's very beautiful, but...
There were many Japanese shops. I'd never heard of bubble tea, for example, and then color. I was like, oh, you have to try it. Yeah, we had a little tasting.
And then the strawberry mousse mochi. Is there inside strawberry?
That's on the camera.
I think there was a moment that I also felt quite tired in the tour, which was in Düsseldorf. The whole didn't inspire me as much as the one in Berlin.
This note is very, very long. We always finish at one bar, but it should be 2 bars and fermata. So
I tried to just come finish with you, but we're watching your
I finished because everyone else finished.
No, I'm watching your bow.
I'm watching.
Because I don't hear much going on. I don't know how
No,
soft
but
you
I
guys.
will watch your bow, Yogi. We can carry on after you.
Okay, let's go on. Then let's do as it's written.
And we ignore you.
I will play as it's written.
Oh, marvellous. Okay. That sounds interesting. I like how it sounds.
Stars.
Yeah, but it should be much longer than
Yeah?
it is. Yeah, I finish and speed up the bow because I don't hear anything coming from higher strings, that's why. So we are watching it. You watch me and I listen to you. And we are finishing 1 bar early.
Sounds very good.
It's a very special thing. We're in a process, we're on tour, we're playing in different halls for different audiences, and there's growth and there's change in what we're doing. You know, we respond to a hall, respond even to audiences. It's different each time. You might come expecting something and then you're surprised when you arrive somewhere else.
in order to keep things fresh and move things onwards, you have to sometimes use slightly different techniques. One of the techniques Candy sometimes uses is to mix the groups in the orchestra up. So instead of first violins being where they would normally be, they come and sit next to the cellos, for example, or you might mix just random individuals up around the orchestra. And this time the first came next to the cello. And it's always really interesting because, of course, I hear what they're doing from I'm always listening, but having a different group next to you makes you listen in a very different way to something specific.
I think there are moments where you try to source energy a little bit. I mean, because you know that that's the best way you're going to actually manage to go on a stage and perform, and you have to source it from somewhere. So I think you all help each other a little bit. You know, there's that feeling of, okay, like we all know, we're all in the same boat, we've all been through the same things.
We have, of course, subsidy from the state and from the city of Amsterdam, but that's only a small part of our budget, so we heavily depend also on private donations and on sponsorships and on touring. We also had in Athens our dearest donors with us of the orchestra, and we always have once a year a weekend together on one of the tours, and that's absolutely a joy because 65 people who also love the orchestra are then with the orchestra, and it is fantastic to experience together the success. Yeah, they really feel like friends. We know each other really well. They are so proud what we achieve with the orchestra, so there is a very close relationship built over the years. We started doing this sort of trips in 2010, I believe, so it's quite a long time ago, and it grew and grew and grew. One of the musicians also said it felt more special to play in Athens this year, having them there, and also the other way around. They're sitting in the hall and really feel like our orchestra is here, and wow, what a success. 2,000 people sold out, an enormous enthusiasm. In a way, they're part of the team.
Audiences don't know how musicians maybe feel backstage, or how heavy the traveling can be. We all don't show it because we want to do the best job we can do.
Yeah, that day when we played in Katowice, we had an extremely early morning and unfortunately a Ryanair flight, which is not always much fun.
Yes, the instruments is always a problem. In any case, with every airline, there can be problems, but with low-cost carriers, it can be really difficult. We had to buy an extra seat, not only for the cellos, but also for the violins too. And we had to strap on the violins, 2 violins, and put them on one chair.
To be honest, I was really tired that day, and I was just about to go to sleep when Georgi came over to me and said, "Shall we play Monopoly?" And I have Monopoly on my iPad, which I downloaded on another tour so that Georgi and I could play on flights.
The spots that you like, not the yellow.
Yeah. If we could,
so
we could do a swap. That's worth 130. That's worth 130 at the moment. So
yeah, I want to do a deal with you with those rents. I'll give you some rents if you want some money.
I have no money, I have 100.
You've got no money, but would you like some of the rents? Let me know what you want rents.
Then we played Monopoly for the full 3-hour flight. It's a game that my family refused to play with me now. So the fact that they were all willing to play with me is a novelty. I bankrupted all 3 of them. I won the game, so Bruce, then Harry, and then Georgi.
For 240.
Wait, fuck.
And then at Krakow, we had to take a bus still. So from Krakow, the bus to Katowice. And then running to the hotel, just checking in, having 1.5 hours to just make yourself fresh, and then go to the hall and have a dress rehearsal.
Somehow when we all arrived there, the hall was so stunning. It's a really beautiful hall. I think we all decided that we had to do another really good concert. For those of you who don't know, do you know how long it took to sell out tonight?
One host said 10 minutes.
10 minutes? No.
It's close. 2 hours.
No. He's warm.
He's very warm.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
No
3
way.
minutes.
When Bruce goes online, it takes
Go
3
Amsterdam
minutes.
Sinfonietta.
Unfortunately, it wasn't us.
You have this feeling of, oh, we're playing Chopin in Poland. This is going to be a special audience, you know, really rapt listening to us.
Can I ask about letter B? Shouldn't we drop at first much more? So the difference between fortepiano to piano first in the first instance?
I'm not sure because Bruce is playing quite. Actually, no, it's a good question because
Where?
At B, when you start
Which
this,
part?
that's 45. We're playing quite loud, but
I think actually you should, like, it's good to have a little...
We should go down.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it's okay.
And second time more, yes.
Second time more?
Like 49.
Yeah, when it builds up.
Okay.
Very fast still, like you said, that's really
Because,
super.
you know, actually I have
near
like
the bridge, but softer.
I have like this and then this.
No, we also, but
Oh, I see.
It's just it got because I do like it, and then you play really
Okay, then
strong.
keep it.
No. I mean, we can drop a bit. We can have this still, and then it's just that you're playing also the da-da.
Honestly, keeping this is nice too. I don't know.
Well, then let's try it. Sorry, I'd like to try it. Not really salt, but not really salt pond, but so it has some kind of in it. Can we do this, but with drama? No, let's try this again, but now with drama. I mean, it was full, it was sold out. I don't know, and the energy from the audience also was very special. I mean, you got that feeling, which is the ideal feeling, that the public really wants to be there, and they're also kind of excited to be there. And somehow that rubs off on you, I suppose, and then it's a knock-off effect between the audience and the orchestra, and yeah, we really had a lot of fun that evening.
Yeah, and it was indeed a surprise, because I think we were all quite tired after the concert before, and it was a bit the feeling like, well, whatever's coming tomorrow, we'll see. And then that really lifted us up, I think. You really see that they care about the music. You see in their attitude that they're just listening very intently. Fantastic.
Oh,
thank you.
It's real happiness to us.
Hey. Thanks.
Oh,
It's great, you know, that I feel that this is the place that everything started, and people that still kind of, you know, have this feeling for me after so many years. I think it's this kind of loyalty, and of course, playing Chopin there is very special because you just feel like everyone knows it. You know, even the taxi drivers knows it. I mean, we didn't go to Warsaw, but in the airport it's called Chopin, and there's Chopin vodka, there's Chopin chocolate. People just know Chopin, you know, like the president or something. You know, it's not like like a classical cliche high society thing. It's just like the whole population just knows it, you know, and you just feel that when you play music there, and that's why I think it's so special.
It's kind of a privilege to be able to do 15 times this program. It depends a bit on your approach. One way would be to have a concertmaster coming in and with a very fixed idea of what's going to happen, and it's fixed, it's efficient. That would be tough, doing 15 concerts, I think, in that way. For us, it's a gift to have 15 concerts, because with Candy, especially as concertmaster, it's another kind of a process of finding an interpretation. She's much more open to creating something together as a group, using the gifts of the people she's working with at that moment.
It's a very big tour. I don't think I've ever done 15 concerts of the same program before. So that's both wonderful in that we get to really develop this music and our interpretation of it. And as I was talking about flexibility earlier, that flexibility should increase throughout the tour. It's also a challenge because you have to stay fresh with 4 pieces of music which we're repeating every day or every other day. Another thing which has been really special is that basically every concert's been completely sold out, and that is such a wonderful thing to walk out to as a performer, to see.
Hey! So we do it! Yeah!
Someone from the public sends you this.
What is this?
I have no clue. I think actually the lady told it's chocolate.
Oh, we can eat it.
But bravo.
Hey, yes.
It was amazing service.
It was a super project. I mean, everybody was very diverse also. I mean, we had people from everywhere. I mean, from the Baltic states, from Sweden, from, I mean, yeah, a lot of mixed backgrounds, and also ages, a lot of different ages in the orchestra, which is also, I think, wonderful when you see that actually age doesn't matter, and there are young people with older people, and everybody was just enjoying themselves. And I would see one group of people together, and the next morning I would see another group with this, you know, somebody. It was never, there were no cliques. It was very, very natural how everybody blended together, and that makes me very happy when I see that.